Hello.
How you doing?
Good. I'm doing well.
Awesome. So tell
My
us
name,
a little bit about yourself. How did you find lifestyles? What brought you here? Give us the good juice.
okay. Well, my name's Arnulfo Montalvo. I'm originally from Chicago. I moved to San Antonio, Texas about 15 years ago. I'm a pharmacist at HEB. Had no past real estate experience. A good friend of mine invited me to go to one of the seminars that David presents, and like like David said in the beginning, I was skeptical, and then the more and more I listened, I was like, it's making sense. It's making sense. I need to try this out. So it is a lot of information. It is overwhelming, but with the help of the mentors and the classes and all the resources you guys have available, I mean, everything's recorded. You could go online, listen to something over and over and over and over again. And for me, I'm a hands-on person. So all this information, it wasn't making sense. And I was kind of trying to figure it out, And I finally broke down and bought a single family property. And with doing that, I gained the experience and the knowledge and I was able to do it easier. So
That's awesome.
that's how I got started.
Okay, a little bit about you. So one thing I did want to bring up, and this is not to dog on you, but you joined in 2017, right? And I
That's
know when you
right.
first started, you weren't ready yet, but you got in because you were encouraged by your friend. It worked for him. You knew this is what you wanted, but you didn't take action right away. And you know what? That's okay. Not every member buys a property the first 30 days like me. Sometimes you
Yeah.
need some time to make sure this is real. Go to the road trips, do the education. It's on your time. We're ready when you guys are. But I remember you made the mentor appointment and you started moving right away. You did all your education, you got pre-qualified, you started responding to email blasts. So as soon as you took action, it was just no stopping you. So any of those of you who are fearful about starting, it's okay. If you've been a member for a while and you haven't purchased yet, come back to the 2-day. Get in that 2-day, get around us, come to the road trips, call up your mentor. We're going to keep you accountable. We're going to make sure that you're taking action, you're doing the right thing. So you did that, and I'm so proud of you for that. And so here we put in, this is a picture with your son, which I think is awesome. You guys spend a lot of time together, and so your goal for joining Lifestyles and buying real estate is to retire early. I mean, who doesn't want to retire early, right? That's an amazing goal. And you've seen a lot of members do it, and I know that you can do it as well. And you're a hard worker, you're focused, so all of the good things. So yeah, let's talk about some deals.
Yeah, and you're a pharmacist, correct?
Correct.
So,
Oh,
farmers are smart people. What crop do you farm?
David, not a street pharmacist like your tenants.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm a legal drug dealer.
But it's funny because we actually have mobile pharmacists that actually buy apartments, buy houses, and they're very regimented. They want things a certain way. So very cautious people like you can do it as well. That's what I want to bring up.
Yeah, of course.
Awesome.
Awesome. Okay, so we're going to talk about the very first deal that he closed on. It's in the south side of San Antonio, which is kind of cool because it's on your drive from where you live. You live in the hill country and you drive to work, so it's kind of on your commute. So you are kind of familiar with the area, but it's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 1448 square foot, built in 1953. Now this is the after photo, so it looks like a great neighborhood, right? Any family would love to live there, but let's look at the numbers. Oh, pictures first. Yeah, pictures are important. So this is your before and after. I mean, I couldn't, when you sent this to me, I thought, wait, is this the same house? I had to double check and make sure the windows were in the right place and all of that because you did so much improvements. It just looks beautiful. And there's some more photos if you go to the next slide.
I love the colors. You made nice gray interiors. I love that. Great color picks.
Thank you.
So how long did your rehab process take? Now, guys, look at that picture on the right. I mean, that's into the studs. That's just like a shack, it looks like, right? And below, it looks like a little palace. I mean, this is beautiful. And this is, anybody would be proud to call this home. And I think that's so special about what we do. We don't just buy real estate, paint the walls white, throw in carpet. We actually make them look a little bit nicer. We want people to be proud of their home. We're not slumlords. And this, I think you can definitely tell that you put a lot of effort and a lot of change here, and it's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's definitely best product. Good job.
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. So here's the good stuff. This is the numbers. This is why we do this. You could have a bunch of pretty pictures, but if the numbers aren't there, then it doesn't matter, right? So I'll kind of break this down for those of you who haven't seen this type of formula before. So appraised value, that's what it's worth today, $160,000. He purchased the property for $74,000, and that gave him an $86,000 equity. The rehab was $54,000. Backing out your closing costs, your out-of-pocket was $15,874, and I got that number just so y'all know. It was about $6,000 for his first closing and about $7,000 for his second. So you'll do a hard money close and then you'll do a conventional. You need the hard money because they're going to lend you the money for rehab, so you don't have to dig into your own pockets. They're going to lend you that, and you're going to pay them monthly.
And really quick, Jody, let me explain to people out there listening. I know that sounds like Greek. I mean, Jody's been doing this for years, but I'm going to break that down all in the seminar, how to do all this stuff. So, you know, it sounds like gobbledygook now, but as new people, what do you need to know? He only had to come up with 15 grand to buy this house, and
Right.
he made 18 grand. That's what you need to know if you're new.
Exactly. So he came out of pocket about $15,000. That gave him 115% return on capital. And he hired a property manager, and they got you $1,500 in rent, which is fantastic. And so that's making a gross amount of $18,000. But breaking down, the cash flow is really important here, and I want y'all to see this. Cash flow is the profit. After you pay property taxes, insurance, there's probably not an HOA there, but if there was, we back out the HOA, the mortgage payment, everything. That's what he takes home every month. That is really good. That is more than my Mercedes payment, $560. I mean, that's amazing. What could you do with $560 extra a month? On top of that, you're building your equity. You've already got $18,000 in equity, and that's going to go up every year. So that gives you a 42% cash on cash return. I did check my math a couple times on that. That is not a typo. I know that sounds crazy, right? 42% cash on cash return. Go ask your stockbroker or your banker if they can get you anything close to that, and they're probably going to look at you like you're crazy. So
and remember though, that's just two of the ways, Arnulfo, you're making money 5 ways, so there's more than that.
Yeah, and it would have been a little higher than that, but on my first property, I did more than I should have, and I'm learning as I go along. So on this next deal, well, I'm on my 3rd house now, but on the second deal, I did a lot better than this one. And as I go along, on the 3rd, 4th, 5th, it'll get better.
Arnulfo.
I do want to bring up how he found his second property, you guys. This is amazing. So he's at the first property, checking it out all the time, checking up on his contractors, just like we teach you to do. And he sees the house next door is a dump, right? Or down the street or next door.
Next door.
You know, he takes it upon himself to reach out to all the neighbors and say, hey, whose house is this? I want to buy it. To me, that's amazing. That's being proactive. That's taking action. I mean, that's just doing exactly what we want you to do. And as soon as he did that, he made contact. He contacted me to make sure the numbers make sense. I ran a CMA for him. I did all the numbers. It was very similar to the previous properties, so we kind of knew what all the numbers were going to be. And you ended up closing on that one. And that one was a little bit of a hoarder house, right? You're finishing that.
Yes.
So Arnulfo, we have a rule here. If you make over 100% return, do you know the technical rule, what it's called?
What is it?
It's peeing your pants exciting, Arnulfo. Made 100% return.
I can't stop smiling here.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to smile, but I'm trying to hold it back.
Is this better than your HEB 401k?
It's better.
Go to the next slide. I want to show y'all the cash flow on the other deal.
Oh, you got some other ones. Okay.
That's so cool. So me and Arnulfo, we talk a lot, and that's really important. You've got to make sure you are communicating with your mentor. Don't forget about us. Reach out to us, ask us questions. And he's very good about that. I love hearing from him. I love hearing the updates. It just gets me really excited. So his number 2 property, which is not done being rehabbed, he already has a signed contract, a deposit, and a rent, or just a deposit?
I'm
You there?
sorry, you cut out. What was that?
Oh, on your second property, you already rented it and you're still rehabbing it, right?
Oh, yes, yes. It's already, we have a 1-year signed lease agreement on the second property, and we're probably about 2 weeks out from completing it. So that's great news.
So folks, I want you to understand this. If you do it the way I teach you, you put a sign in the yard before you're finished. He has the first month's rent deposit already ready to go before he's even done. I mean, that's exactly how I teach it. There's none of this, oh my God, it's COVID. No, he's doing it in today's market, real time.
And we live in an amazing city with so many jobs, so many essential workers, and the area where he's buying is just really popular. So it's no surprise that he rented it before it was done. You guys, this is real. So here's your team. You know, you work with me as a mentor. You work with Trey as your realtor. Hard money
That's a
lender.
lifestyles realtor.
Yep, he's a lifestyles realtor. Bryce Chatlin from Red Doors, a hard money lender. That's the guy we're going to talk about today, how you guys can get financing for your rehab. And then because you're such a hard worker, you're a pharmacist, you're working overtime because of this pandemic, you didn't want to do all this leasing and all this stuff. Who has time for all that? So you
Yeah.
have one of our preferred vendors who handled all of your property management, and they did so very successfully. You know, renting a property before it's done, getting the other one done pretty quick. So big shout out to OmniKey, who is taking care of his property management, because not everybody wants to do that. And if you do want to do it, that's okay. We can teach you, but you also don't have to worry about tenants and headaches and all of that stuff. And then we asked you, how has lifestyles changed your life? You can read that if you want.
Well, like it says there, I'm addicted to the cash flow and I want to keep going. Like I can't stop. And my ultimate goal, I love traveling, and that's what I want to do. Kind of cut back on my regular job and do what I love to do, travel.
Awesome. So you're following the map. Your goal is 10 single family property, and I am so confident you're going to be able to do that. You've taken action. You've done everything that we've taught you and more. And then your long-term goal is to buy an apartment community, and that's amazing. And with that attributes and how fast you're moving and staying focused, I definitely think you can do that in no time. But we'll get you, right now you're in 3. I mean, you knocked those out so fast. So
Yeah,
want to get 5 by the end of the year though, right? You've got a couple months.
correct. And I'm working towards it.
Well, that's awesome. That's so inspiring, I think, to other members. We definitely want to take questions. I know you got to get to your son's football game shortly, but we have time for a few questions. If you guys want to let Danielle know, type them in the chat, and then we can answer some questions for you.
Yeah, so we do have 2 questions so far. So Chase asked, if you wanted you to recap, how did you find property number 1? Can you remind us, was that through a blast email?
Yes, through Trey. I got one of the blast emails, and Trey was a realtor, the lifestyles realtor.
Awesome. And then Chase also asked, what was your level of membership? Did you do this as an FFP member, a challenge member, or a preferred member?
Well, like Jody said, I signed up in 2017. I signed up as a preferred investor group member. So I wanted to do the multifamily. So I was stuck in the analysis paralysis phase for a long time. And then about 2 years in, I kind of realized like, hey, I haven't done anything yet. And I started taking action, and I'm like, let me start with a couple single family homes. And I started earlier this year, and I already own 3. So I'm trying to get 5 by the end of the year. Hopefully that works out, but that's how I got started. Yes.
Perfect. And Jim wants to know, he said, who was the general contractor that you used? And he said, with 54,000, that's a big rehab. And he also wanted to know, how long did it take you to rehab that house?
Well, it was a big rehab because we had to do foundation repair, and we gutted out the entire house. It was originally a 3-bedroom, 1 bath, and I converted it into a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. So we did the garage conversion, and everything was brand new in the house. So as you start tearing stuff down, you start realizing that it needed more and more work. And it's a 1953 house, I believe, 1953, 1954. So of course, it needed all new electrical. It had no heating and air conditioning. We installed all that, all brand new plumbing. And when you do the foundation work, you lift the house up, all the cast iron pipes break. So we had to replace the whole sewer line. And then we redid the roof, the siding, the windows, the paint, cabinets. It's basically a brand new house.
But
And
you
Well,
didn't
really,
yourself, right?
really quick, Arnulfo, you're a
Yes,
pharmacist. You don't know how to do any of that crap. So what was
that's
your
right.
job?
I pay people to
Tell
do
the
it.
people out there, what did you do? Did you just write a check and pay people, right?
That's all I do.
Want people to understand that. We're not, even though that sounds scary, guys, we teach you how to do that. We teach you how to do a scope of work and basically just write a check and pay the contractor. And that way they can feed their family. So you're actually helping them out too.
Yeah, and I want to admit, the first property, I was there a little more than I should have been. Second house, I'm probably there once every 2 weeks, if that.
You're learning, you're growing.
Yeah, so it's less stressful.
And was the contractor that, were they from the vendor list?
Yes.
Can you say what was the general contractor that you used?
Yeah, it was Jason Favela.
Let's see. So I've got a couple other questions here. Chase also wanted to know, what was the biggest hurdle for you? Was it fear? What did you need most help with? I think he's probably asking, like, when you made the decision to say, you know, I want to invest in something, let me look into single family. What was holding you back?
Myself. I was letting my ice cream melt while watching everybody else's sprinkles, and I had to go get my own sprinkles so I could make some money.
Let's see. Another person asked how long, it sounded like you're still doing property number 2, but just to clarify, they want to know how long did it take the rehab on the second property?
The second house, I did the same, similar to the first one, because they're right next door to each other. So I knew the comps, I knew the numbers. So I basically did a mirror image of the first one. It was a 3-bedroom, 1-bath. I converted the carport into a 4th bedroom, 2-bath, and I used the same exact numbers, but I spent a lot less, probably $20,000 less than the first one. So if you look at my numbers on the first house, add another 20 grand equity to the second house, plus a higher cash flow.
Which Arnulfo, do you know what the answer to that is? The technical term for that?
Pee in your pants, exciting.
Yes, you're winning now. All right. One more question, Danielle. One more.
All right, let's see. Let me get a good one here. So I'm going to ask, John wanted to know, what was the interest rate that you got on your 30-year loan?
The first house, I got a 4% interest rate.
Awesome. Great
So
stuff.
you back when you're done with 2 and 3, because I really want to see how your numbers work out, and we'd love to have you back and update everybody with your success and your progression, because you're doing so great. And we thank you so much for sharing your story, inspiring others to be here, and it's awesome. We're so excited.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
And
thanks for stepping up and sharing your experience. I mean, there's other people in your situation, say, watching everybody else doing it around them, and now you finally stepped up. So for you
yeah,
procrastinators, here's your hero. He was the same way.
For those of
exactly.
you, don't forget to take the 2-day this weekend. That's your first step. You got to get the education, get the mindset, and then you can be just like him.
Jody, are you going to be with me on Sunday?
Yes, I can. Yep, I'll head over there.
Awesome. So folks, just so you know, Jody's actually going to come in. I don't know if she'll go in person or Zoom or whatever, but she'll be answering questions on Sunday as well, because you'll have some of the basic knowledge then, and then you can ask Jody questions there as well, just so you know. Okay?
Absolutely. I look forward to it. Thank you,
All
guys.
right.